that it is good as people's employees who we are, we must continuously listen to the employer, the people of Kenya.
For the first time, people died at the entrance of Parliament. When that happened, you were the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. What responsibility do you take?
I pronounce myself on the matter.
Please give me an answer.
No, what answer do you want me to give you? I said what I thought about the matter. The answer is in my statement.
And we're here. That was June.
No, but 26th. I'm saying the statement
is
there.
It is okay to repeat it.
No. Why do you want me to repeat it?
Because I'm asking the question.
You have it in your archives. My answer to what happened is in my statement.
Why don't you want to talk about this?
But I said where the blame lies. The statement is there. Why do you want me to go into it? I said. I have not recanted that statement. I still stand by it. So go and look at the statement.
Why don't you want to talk about this?
I don't want to go into it.
Because?
Because I don't think it is necessary. Because my statement was very explicit.
Over 60 families are still waiting.
But my statement was very explicit.
For answers.
I made myself
No action
clear.
has been taken against any police officer. Are you bothered by that?
You know whom you need to ask that question.
I'm asking
who is supposed to take the action?
Sorry?
Who is supposed to take the action?
You tell me.
You know.
Who?
What are you saying? What do you want me to tell you? You know I'm the Deputy President.
Exactly.
You know who is supposed to take action against police officers. Go and ask them that question.
Who? You tell me.
You know.
Who?
What are you saying? What do you want me to tell you? You know I'm the Deputy President.
Exactly.
You know who is supposed to take action against police officers. Go and ask them that question.
Who?
You know.
I wish you could tell me the answer.
No, I'm not. Why do you want me to help you to do your research?
I don't want you to help me. Just respond. Kenyans, it's not about
I am not going to
Kenyans are watching.
Kenya, you know, you tell the Kenyans, you know. Go and look for that person and ask that question. That is not my question. I am not in charge of that docket. So I cannot answer a question that doesn't belong to me.
So you say we should go to the Interior Ministry?
I don't know. If you think that's where you need to go, proceed.
Now, Deputy President, there are those that accuse you that you have been given duties in the Constitution and the Executive Order number 2 of 2023, but you have not been very successful in delivering. Talking about illicit brew, questions of coffee, tea, and milk. You made promises.
Some. I was given many duties. One of them is to chair cabinet committees. I've chaired 35 cabinet committees and successfully prosecuted 333 agenda items to the cabinet. If anybody wants to call that underperformance, then my English fails me. Number two, I'm in charge of intergovernmental relations. Since I became the Deputy President, I've created the most conducive environment ever between the two levels of government. Before we came to office, the county governments and the national government were at war. And through good leadership, through bringing people together, I was able to put our county commissioners together with our governors and tell them that we serve the same people. I've successfully held IBEC meetings. We have discussed the division of revenue bill, and the devolution agenda is ongoing. That is Rigathi Gachagua who has done that. Rigathi Gachagua is in charge of international development partnerships. I have chaired the Development Partners Forum. I've held meetings with our development partners. I have made all the necessary interventions between the National Treasury, the Attorney General's office, independent offices. I have held meetings with constitutional commissions and independent offices, the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, the Inspector General of Police. For the record, there was a very big dispute between the Inspector General of Police and the National Police Service. Through my office, I mediated and solved the problems. They used to exchange insults in the press. You have not seen that anymore. That is work that I did. I have successfully mediated differences between the Ministry of Education and the Teacher Service Commission. And you can see they are working in harmony. Again, Sam,
right.
I'm in charge of the development program by World Bank of about $3 billion for Northern and Northeastern Kenya. I have successfully held meetings and organized for fast-tracking of programs in Northern and Northeastern. Some.
Right.
I'm in charge of the development program by World Bank of about $3 billion for Northern and Northeastern Kenya. I have successfully held meetings and organized for fast-tracking of programs in Northern and Northeastern Kenya for those counties funded by the World Bank. Again, that is work in my office. In matters coffee, the president assigned me to lead coffee reforms. He did not tell me to take over the Ministry of Agriculture or to take over the Ministry of Cooperative Development. He asked me to initiate and drive coffee reforms. I held a very successful coffee conference in Meru and brought all the partners, all the stakeholders together. And out of that conference, we have worked with those stakeholders and come up with the Coffee Bill 2023 that is now before the National Assembly. In that bill, we have recommended the re-establishment of the Coffee Board of Kenya to market coffee for farmers so that they can get away from private entrepreneurs. We have recommended the revival of the Coffee Research Foundation so that we can work on variety and disease-resistant varieties. And we have come up with a direct sales settlement where farmers sell their coffee directly and receive their proceeds directly. Under my watch, we have reopened the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, and auctions are taking place every week. Once the Coffee Bill 2023 is approved by Parliament, accepted by the President, all the reforms that we have been working on will be complete, and farmers will get their money. And I also want to say, through our intervention, a lot of coffee societies are getting over 100 shillings in terms of pricing. Where we have challenges...
That's per kilo?
Yeah, per kilo. And our ideal price is about 150, and we'll get there. There is a factory, I think, in Gariama in Kirinyaga with about 122 shillings. And I want to assure you that once we have another bill before Parliament, the Cooperative Bill of 2023, to deal with the governance and integrity issues around cooperative societies. Once that bill has been approved and assented by the President, it will strengthen leadership in cooperative societies. Where you see a lot of demonstrations, it has nothing to do with the pricing. It has a lot to do with the mismanagement of coffee farmers' earnings by rogue officials. The Cooperative Bill of 2023 will address that. And that is why people must know. I've seen some politicians trying to attack me about coffee. Where they come from, they don't even have coffee. They don't understand coffee. I was educated with coffee proceeds myself. And I know once this bill becomes law, and I'll assist in the implementation of that law, farmers will be very happy. But I want to tell people, the fact that I was overseeing coffee reforms did not make me the CS for agriculture or for cooperative development. The day-to-day running of the coffee subsector in terms of production, in terms of yield, in terms of quality, belongs to the Ministry of Agriculture. The day-to-day running of marketing coffee, overseeing the cooperative societies, that docket is in the State Department of Cooperatives.
Okay.
What I'm doing is overseeing reforms. In matters tea, Sam, I held the tea conference in Kericho. Again, we brought all the stakeholders. And I want to tell you, there were big problems because of the Tea Act that was brought by Senator Cheriot that could not be implemented because various stakeholders had gone to court. Through my intervention, I have successfully negotiated all those cases to be dropped. Now the Tea Act will be implemented to the letter, and coffee farmers will get a return on investment.
Right.
We have had challenges in Mombasa about tea that has not been sold. I found some leaders here going to incite people in the Mount Kenya region that tea has not been sold in Mombasa because Rigathi Gachagua has failed. For the avoidance of doubt, all the tea from the Mount Kenya region, that is called the Eastern region, has been sold because of very high quality. Where we have had a challenge is tea from the Western region, Kericho, Bomet, Nandi. Because what happened is that they put a reserve price. The reserve price was too high against the quality. And therefore, the stocks were not moving. I went there and we have removed the reserve price, brought it a little bit down so that the stocks can move. And I want to tell you, I was just looking at the figures. Here. Out of the reforms that we have done in the tea sector, you know, the coffee the tea bonus for this year. You know, if you look at a factory called Kaba, last year the bonus was 41 shillings. Today it is 50 this year. In Kagwe, in Lari, it was 44. Now it is 44.25. In Theta, it was 42, it is 50. Mm-hmm. In Gachagua, it was 40, it is 46. I can say that we are having an increase in terms of bonus. Where we have challenges, and you have seen many demonstrations, again, those demonstrations are part of the reforms that we have made of educating the farmer.
Right.
It is where the tea directors have increased the cost of drinks. In terms of illicit alcohol and drugs, if there is one program the government of President William Ruto can boast about, is that program that the president asked me to spearhead. Our young people are dying because of illicit brews. And I held many meetings. I held a meeting in Nyeri, I held one in Nakuru, I held one in Chuka, I held one in Mombasa. I have held countless meetings here with KRA, with KEBS, with the Counterfeit Authority, with KRA, and we came up with very comprehensive programs. Nyeri, I held one in Nakuru, I held one in Chuka, I held one in Mombasa. I have held countless meetings here with KRA, with KEBS, with the Counterfeit Authority, with KRA, and we came up with very comprehensive programs on how to deal with illicit alcohol. And I can tell you, and you can go and ask for yourself, out of those interventions, we have, to a great extent, eradicated the consumption of illicit brews. And it has been very successful. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there has been some lull of late in terms, and I want to thank him because he intervened. And those factories were not reopened, the ones that were producing illicit brews. But I want to say that is a program that has been very, very, very successful. Some, in terms of duties that have been given to me by the president. On coming to office, he asked me to chair the emergency drought response team. And I successfully mobilized resources across the country during the worst drought in 40 years of this country's history. And I made sure not a single person died. I was all over the country. I was in Garissa, I was in Wajir, I was in Tana River, I was in Kajiado. I mobilized food, mobilized resources across the country during the worst drought in 40 years of this country's history. And I made sure not a single person died. I was all over the country. I was in Garissa, I was in Wajir, I was in Tana River, I was in Kajiado. I mobilized food. Again, at that capacity the president gave me. During the El Nino rains, again I was able to mobilize resources, our development partners, our county governments, our national government, and to make sure that no Kenyan died. Okay. And to make sure that people got support the way they are required. Right. So anybody...
We're getting to the tail end of this interview. You also assigned the role of Nairobi Rivers Commission.
Yes.
Just recently, we saw, should I say, a relaunch of a program to clean up the river. Were you there?
No, I was not there.
Why? It's under your...
The Nairobi Rivers Commission has been under my office.
Yes.
But we did not get any activities underway because we did not get the requisite budget. So there were no...
Were you there?
No, I was not there.
Why? It's under your...
The Nairobi Rivers Commission has been under my office.
Yes.
But we did not get any activities underway because we did not get the requisite budget. So there were no activities. Mm-hmm. The president took over the responsibility of Nairobi River. That was a delegated function. And the person who has delegated a function to you, when he needs to take it up and proceed with it, he does not even need to consult you because it's a delegated function. And the president went to launch that program, and it is going on well. But subsequently, I joined him at Kenya School of Government, where we met the administrative officers, the chiefs, the assistant chiefs, and the village elders, again to anchor the program. And that is where the president called me for that meeting, because I also have a way with the administrators.
So why didn't you attend that event? It's important. It's one of your functions, even if the president...
As I have told you, I was not aware when it was taking place. And I have told you exactly what happened. But the one that I was invited, I was there.
Then it means it's been longer than 1 week that you've not been...
I'm not sure exactly when, but I'm saying any function that I need to attend, that I'm aware of, I'm always there. So the one at the Kenya Institute of Government, where the chiefs, the assistant chiefs, were there and the village elders. I was there and I spoke for a long time.
Okay.
And I advised them on what I think they should do.
Okay, yeah, let's try and get your understanding. There are a lot of conversations going on, including the expansion of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. There's a PIP, privately initiated proposal that has come from Adani. You've had a conversation of what has been going on, perception of failure of transparency. What are your thoughts about this?
I've heard about. I am not private to the arrangement because it is not in my docket. I have not been assigned to deal with it, so it has not come to my attention officially. So what I know is what I'm also reading and hearing. You know, I'm listening to the people of Kenya. What I know is what I'm listening to the people, but I don't have the details. I will not be able to say exactly what the details are. Is it a good deal for the country? Is it a bad deal for the country? I don't have those details. I'm a very truthful person. If those details are put before me, I'll be able to apply my mind and give an opinion. As it is, I'm just listening like the rest of things.
But Deputy President, you chair committees. And these committees, when Kipchumba Murkomen was the Transport Cabinet Secretary, you are still chairing those committees. You never heard of such?
What the details were not brought before the committee. What was brought to the committee is that there is need to expand JKIA. And we said, go ahead and expand JKIA. But as to the details of the PIP, as to the level of investment, as to who do it, that has not been
You've never heard of it?
I've not been brought to a committee that I chair.
So with the questions that Kenyans are asking, and you are the presidency, so what assurance do you give Kenyans?
Well, what I can say is that the next time that I hold a cabinet committee, I'll ask the minister in charge of transport to give us a brief as a cabinet committee so that I'm also appraised, so that if I go to an interview like this one, I can be able to answer. As it is, I'm as green as you are. I have no details. What I know is that Kipchumba Murkomen came to the cabinet committee and asked for approval to start arrangements to expand JKI.
Okay.
And we approved. And we went to the cabinet, we approved. But as to the details, as to how it is being done, as to who is doing it, whether it's value for the money for the country, whether the thing is above board or not, I cannot comment about it because I am as green as you are.
Okay. Well, I have to admit that we've been reading about it and reporting about it. But what are your thoughts about the contentious university funding model that has a lot of students raising questions about the banding, but also causing a lot of discomfort among parents? I
am a great believer in listening to the people. People don't just complain without a reason. We came up with this financing model. It was brought by Minister Machogu before Cabinet Committee. It went to Cabinet. We looked at it and we agreed it's a good model. But Kenyans think differently. And at the end of it all, Sam, we must listen to the people because all these things we do are for the benefit of the people. If the people we are trying to help feel so bad about something, you cannot insist on it. And that's why I'm happy that the president has appointed a committee to review, and reconsider what people are saying. Again, we need to listen to the students, we need to listen to the parents, we need to listen to the vice chancellors, we need to listen to the lecturers. It's about the people. And I am in agreement 100% that where people raise issues, we have a responsibility as an administration to accord them a hearing because we are not rulers. So we are leaders.
Why is it that the listening is always after the fact?
Well, Sam, you do things that are well-intentioned. Sometimes you come up with a program and you mean well and you think you have done the right thing. And when it goes to the beneficiaries, they think differently. It does not mean that you had bad intentions. What it means is that nobody knows everything. The people of Kenya have every right to correct the government. If they think the government has not come up with a good model, we have a responsibility as an administration to listen to the people. And I think I want to, applaud the president for agreeing that we need a committee to listen to what people are saying, and we take their views and probably and hopefully they'll help us to make a more informed decision.
Do you find anything wrong with that? Because if you look at the committees that have been formed, in total more than 100 people, yet the cabinet has 22 cabinet secretaries, to include yourself and the president and the Attorney General, and the Secretary to the Committee. That's 26 people. Now, the committees are more than those, yet you're the policy-making organ. You make decisions or you endorse decisions that eventually go afoul against the people, and they have now to use taxpayers' money to correct those mistakes. What's going on?
The benefit to interrogate what the cabinet did, again, is what the people of Kenya are saying, and advise the government on the best way of going about it.
Now, we understand the president is leaving the country tonight. Are you aware?
I am told he is leaving the country, but I'm not aware of the time. So I've not been informed as of this evening.
Has he briefed you?
No, I've not talked to him today.
But he's leaving.
Well, he'll talk to me in his own time. I'm not aware of the time. So I've not been informed as of this evening.
Has he briefed you?
No, I've not talked to him today.
But he's leaving.
Well, he'll talk to me in his own time.
You're his senior-most assistant, principal assistant.
Yes.
And you do not know.
As the time he's leaving, I'm not aware.
Did he tell you he's leaving?
I have not talked to him today.
You don't know? He has not officially, communicated to you that he's leaving? No, he has not
communicated to me officially.
For how long can you continue with this?
Well, as long as it depends on the boss.
Your family is devastated. You said, your words. You feel you're being mistreated. You said.
Yes.
You think the president needs to call the people around him to order?
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Would you resign?
No, never. Why? I've been given a job by the people of Kenya. This job has its own hindrances and challenges. It's part of the job process. And when I took this job, I knew it's not easy. Only I didn't know it will be that soon. I thought probably we'll have a good time the first 5 years, and if there are challenges, maybe later. It's only that it has come sooner than we anticipated, and we had been given a commitment that this will not come. But now that it has come, we live with it.
Okay.
We'll just work.
As we close, the governor of Nairobi feels that for you to say you're introducing him to the people is wrong, because the same people had voted for him as senator. What is introducing him to the people?
Well, you should ask him why he called me to go with him to the people. Because he needed them. And he asked me to go with him. I did not invite myself to the campaign meeting. If I had no value, he would not have asked me to go with him.
There are those that are asking that if the Deputy President of the Republic is championing for the issues of Mount Kenya, who is supposed to champion for issues of other regions? Should they get their own Deputy President?
The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya had a meeting here discussing matters to do with Northern Kenya and Northeastern Kenya for a full day. That is not Mount Kenya. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya was in Mombasa at the agricultural show. That is not part of Mount Kenya. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya has been to Kajiado to work on agriculture. That is not part of Mount Kenya.
How many meetings have you held in the Northeastern?
I have been to Northeastern more than 5 times.
Championing the issues of Northeastern?
Yeah, drought. Going there to make interventions. Going there on matters of security. The cabinet committees have held here 35. Those members who attend that committee, we don't discuss Mount Kenya issues. We discuss the issues of Kenya. Those 333 agenda items are not about Mount Kenya. They are about the Republic of Kenya. I do the job for the Kenyan nation. I assist the president to run the country. And I preoccupy myself with issues for the whole country. But I come from somewhere. And where I come from, where they have issues that they want articulated in high levels of government, they ask me to do it, and I always do it, and I'll continue doing it.
You assist the president deliver on his mandate, but he doesn't tell you what he's doing, including tonight. You don't know what time he's traveling.
What is important are the duties that he has given me to do, and I'm doing them.
Okay, all right. Now, Deputy President, last year you promised, alongside the president, that you're going to do something called austerity measures. You're going to cut on travel budget. But in actual sense, the national executive has increased his travel expenditure by 7 billion shillings. Your own office has grown from 103 million shillings the year ending June 2023 to now report 556
No, that's a lie.
million shillings.
That's a lie.
It is the report of the Control of Budget.
No, I saw it in the press,
Yep.
and I did not want to dignify it by way of reply. My office doesn't have a budget of 500 million for travel. Yeah, and that is, I'll be able to give you the estimates tomorrow. Yeah, my budget is below 200 million. I'm not sure it's 100 and something. Yeah, and it has never been 500 million. That's a lie. It's something that was put there to try to put my office in bad light.
Also,
I don't know who
you're
was
calling to question the report of the Control of
Yes,
Budget.
that one I want to say, and I'll be able to give you that information tomorrow. On Monday, tomorrow is Saturday, I'll get what is the budgetary allocation for my office for travel for 2023, 2024, and for 2022.
I'm not talking about the budgetary allocation. I'm talking about the budget implementation report.
There is no way you can exceed the budgetary provision. So
But-
the budgetary provision is
Yeah.
a guiding factor in matters finance.
And that's
you
fine.
cannot spend above the budget.
So how much did your office spend
In terms of?
in the year ending 2020?
I am not
June
sure.
2024 on
I
travel?
am not sure of the details because I'm not an accountant. I'm not the accounting officer. I am the deputy president. I would.
But you're very
know.
clear that it's not that amount.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's below 200 million.
The Control of Budget bases her reports, or her office bases the reports on the reports from the accounting officers.
I will be able to get a clarification for that one. In fact, I saw it in the press, and I had decided to raise it. It got out of my mind. Now that you have raised it, I want to clarify to the people of Kenya on record, and some on Monday. I'll give you the actual budgetary allocation for my office for international travel for 2023.
No, that's not for international travel. It's domestic and international travel.
But you cannot mix the two.
No, that's how it's reported.
No. You cannot mix the two.
So how much did your office spend on domestic travel and foreign
domestic
travel?
travel is heavy.
How much?
I don't know the figures. But what you must know is that I have 9 functions, Sam. These 9 functions, I don't just sit here in Karen. You're asking me whether I go to Northeastern. I need to fly to Northeastern. You're asking me whether I go to the rest of the country. I don't travel alone. I have a security detail. I have people who assist me. By virtue of my office, my travel is quite heavy because of the responsibility of the office and the security arrangements around it. And there is no way I can just sit here and undertake my activities. I travel around the country. And there is a budgetary provision for that because I have activities that have been lined up. You know?
So all those visits are important.
Oh, they are very important. I have never. The only time I traveled on holiday was in 2022. I asked the president to give me permission to go and visit my children who are in South Africa. I had not seen them for 10 years. That's the only time I've traveled on holiday. All these other duties are official. And I can, every travel that I have done is accounted for and is explained.
All right. I'm asking that because now the Office of the President, State House in the Executive Office of the President is reporting about 1.74 billion shillings for both domestic and foreign travel.
Our budget has been cut by half for everything.
But it's increasing. The reports are showing that the travel expenditure is increasing.
I'm saying for this financial year, this financial, the current financial year, 2024, 2025, our budgets across board have been cut by half. Even our development budget, we have no money to maintain this residence.
All right.
We are at zero. All the development expenditure in the austerity measures has been removed.
And finally, during those austerity measures that were announced shortly after the rejection of the Finance Bill 2024, some of the offices affected is the Office of the First Lady, Office of the Spouse of the Deputy President, and Office of the Spouse of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, as announced by the government. How has that affected the operations of your spouse?
Well, my spouse, Pastor Doc, has had a very, very important program on addiction and widows program. And I must commend her. She did a fantastic job. She has helped hundreds of children who are addicted and successfully rehabilitated them and gotten them into income-generating projects and really changed many lives. And her work was supporting my work in terms of eradication of illicit brews, and how she was dealing with those who are already patients in terms of addiction. That program, of course, has adversely been affected. She had very many camps that are now having challenges because they don't have funding. But we are appealing to many well-wishers I am personally putting in a contribution from my salary. We have many well-wishers who are supporting her, and shortly we'll be having a major funds drive to ask the people of Kenya to support that program, because she cannot send those children away. Those are children who need help. Those are children who are sick. And the fact that the government cannot fund that program anymore does not mean that those children will be left unattended.
Was that decision a good one? To cut?
In my view, I don't think it was the right decision, but that decision was made and we accepted it. We cannot argue with it. But I can tell you the program my spouse was doing has the support of very many Kenyans. She has assisted many children who would have been destroyed, who would have died, and given them a second chance. She had opportunities to go even for weddings, for people who are previously addicted, have abandoned alcohol, and have found somebody to marry. It's such a successful program. It's unfortunate that in all these measures, the budget for our office was scrapped, but we are not complaining. We are saying that we are asking well-wishers and people of goodwill who think that she was doing the right thing to continue supporting that program. We'll be making an appeal to the people of Kenya, support that program so that we can help the children who have been addicted.
All right. There are very many questions, including those that are coming from Kenyans, but you have to bring this to a close. And I want you to look at which camera? Which is your camera? Here. And just give your closing remark and what message you have for the people of Kenya, but also the president before he departs.
I want to say thank you very much. I wish my boss, President William Ruto, safe travel to the UN. Please represent us well, like you have always done, and let our country shine in the international fora. I want to assure the people of Kenya that despite difficult moments in this country, there is hope. Kenyans are very prayerful people, and I know that people are very patient. They endure a lot, and there's a lot of resilience. Looking ahead, I see a bright future. Difficult as things are, I think there will be a good future for this country. I want to ask the people of Kenya to pray for me so that I get strength, I get courage to soldier on despite the challenges, despite all that is going on around us. These are challenges that have been seen by other people there before, and I'm sure I will overcome them. We believe in the power of prayer. I want to assure the Church of Christ that I support their programs. We had an MOU with them. I believe in the freedom of worship. I believe that we should let the church regulate itself so that they can be able to carry on with the good work that they are doing without too much interference. Otherwise, I want to thank the people of Kenya for listening to me. I want to thank you, Sam, for coming over. And I look forward. And I also be looking for me. I'm the one who looks for you. I had some people asking, why doesn't Gachagua do national television? But you guys don't look for me. The people who do the vernacular stations are always looking for me, and I'm always available. Sam,
we have been looking for you for a bit
but you are saying I'm the one who look for you. Please look for me.
This time around, yes.
Please look for me. I am available, and many people, were doubting my capacity to express myself in the English language. You remember to the run-up of the election, many people, had very low opinion on my level of education and power of expression until I went to the running mate debate, and then they knew that I know something. So please be looking for me.
Sure.
I have a few things that I know, and I can express myself.
Some are saying that Kimani Ichung'wah smoked you out.
He didn't. There's things that I needed to discuss. I don't respond to those politicians. I will never dignify their insults by responding to them.
It's not just those politicians, it's the leader of majority.
I will never dignify their insults. I am a self-made man. I do things at my own pace. I had issues that I wanted to address. Especially I wanted to address the issues of my office, because people are trying to create an impression that I just politic. I have a lot of work that I do. I have a lot of work that I have done for this country. I'm a very patriotic Kenyan. And those who try to put for me a tribal tag, they will be sorry. The other day I went to Nyanza. I got a hero's welcome. People thought that I'm only popular in the mountain. And I really want to thank the people of Nyanza for the love and compassion they showed me. I was amazed and I was excited. I went to Kisii. I got a very good reception. I went to Masaini in Kajiado. I got a very good reception. I am not a tribal leader. I'm a national leader. Okay. And many Kenyans are happy with me because I'm truthful. And that's why you see where I go, I get very good reception. Okay. I'll be all over the country. I'll be traveling all over the country when doing my work, executing my mandate, the one that I've been given by the president. And when the president asks me to do a specific duty, I'll always be there. All right. Even on my own, I'll also be traveling around the country, and I'll serve the people of Kenya equally.
Despite the fact that that is becoming quite expensive, both the county and national government spent up to 45 billion shillings in the previous financial year.
Well, you must go to the people because it's about them.
All right.
You owe them service.
All right.
And you cannot serve them from Nairobi. You must go and talk to them. You must go and listen to them. You must go and explain to them what is it that you are doing.
Deputy President, thank you so much for engaging us to talk about the state of affairs and what is happening within the politics of the country, of the mountain, but also within the administration that you also sit in. This has been a conversation with the Deputy President, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. Up next is News Time on Friday night. My name is Sam Gituku. Good night from here.